Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Raw review for the 17th of May, 2021. Raw continues to be a slog to get through. The show is way too long, obviously. 3 hours, still way too long. Can't believe it. They've been doing this for years at this point. But anyway, Bobby Lashley shown with a group of about just under half a dozen ladies walking through the back. MVP's in the ring, introduces Lashley, enters with the ladies, and people cheer for Lashley. A video package airs of the Backlash win that he has. MVP indicated that the ladies were his idea. Lashley's impressed with this idea. And basically, MVP says that last night Lashley won over two of the toughest men in the company. He claimed that Braun Strowman had hurt ribs as a result, and Drew McIntyre couldn't even get out of bed in the morning. MVP says Lashley is thrown through the stage, but still came back to win the match. Lashley injured his first set of opponents. Lashley said Almighty Era would never end. MVP said Lashley's supposed to have the night off, but wanted to issue an open challenge. McIntyre enters. McIntyre said Lashley could impress his lovely ladies by defending his championship tonight. MVP said the open challenge is for anyone besides Strowman and McIntyre. Lashley tries to attack, but McIntyre ducks and sends Lashley running. Ladies run to the back and bail out. McIntyre and Lashley exchange some words at the end of the segment. They plug the Ultimate Warrior A&E documentary upcoming. Lashley open challenges still on for later tonight. The Raw Tag Team Champion, one half of the Raw Tag Team Champions, AJ Styles, with almost defeats Elias with Jackson Riker by disqualification in 11 3/4 minutes. Why the Tag Team Champion is in a 12-minute throwaway match, I don't know. But anyway, Styles is down in the corner at one point and gets drop-kicked into the post. Styles hits a slingshot forearm from the outside. Riker checks on Elias, and there's a face-off going into the break. Elias uses a back body drop and spinebuster for near fall. Elias then does some posing and imposes the Shinlock of Doom. Styles comes back with an enziguri and a sliding forearm and a Pele kick and a neck breaker for near fall. Too many matches, too many moves. Elias blocks the Styles Clash and hits a knee strike and a drift away for the near fall. A bunch of trading strikes. Styles sets up for the phenomenal forearm, and there's a yank off the apron for a DQ, which is completely pointless. Almost chases Riker up the ramp. Elias attacks Styles, almost chases him away. Announcers plug NXT, specifically the Johnny Gargano Bronson Reed cage match. I don't know why they're doing this unless they realize that NXT is a dying brand. Look at the falling ratings. Hopefully that continues, because eventually they'll bottom out and somebody will actually care about the product again. New Day approaches Riddle in the back. Riddle has requested their presence, but they were confused. Riddle has promised a two-headed snake. Randy Orton shows up. Xavier Woods is upset because he wanted an actual snake. Orton says he told Riddle that he arranged a meeting for them with Adam Pearce. Riddle admitted he lied to get everybody there, apologizes to the New Day. Orton's sorry. Kingston's not surprised. Kingston warns Riddle that he'll end up on the receiving end of an RKO one day, and Orton tells him to back off or he'd get an RKO right now. And basically, Kingston acknowledges their feud from 2009 all over again. Orton accepts, and there's awkward stares between Riddle and Orton at a point here. Alexa's Playground with the new women's tag team champions Tamina and Natalya. Alexis and Natalya each sit on the swing set. Natalya answers questions. Tamina looked annoyed to be there or scared or something. Tamina suggested they leave, and she said she hadn't even gotten to the hard questions yet. She asked their favorite colors. Natalya said pink, and Tamina said black and blue, which is what Bliss's face would look like should she try to take action. She asked if it was fun to take out Reginald. Tamina said yes. Bliss speaks like a child about how Lily loved watching flies getting swatted. She rambles on and on. Natalya and Tamina just walk away. She realized they're gone and wish them luck on their match. She will be watching, and she plays with her doll's hair. This is a creepy character at this point and completely does not belong on my TV. Speaking of not belonging on my TV, Angel Garza defeats Drew Gulak in just under 2.25 minutes. Garza wins with the wing clipper. He shoves a rose in Gulak's mouth as he promised to do in previous matches. And R-Truth's in the back. He's trying to hide. Kevin Patrick approached him for an interview. Truth's worried because it's an open challenge for the 24/7 championship. Patrick let him know that it was Lashley who had the open challenge. Truth is relieved, and Tozawa rolls him up for the belt and runs away. We open the second hour, and really nothing of value has happened during the first hour. They air an Eva Marie video from last week to open the second hour. Great to continue the streak of useless stuff. Kofi Kingston with Xavier Woods defeat Randy Orton with Riddle in just under 5.25 minutes. Riddle rolls out his scooter during Orton's entrance. This is just goofy. Anyway, so they botch a spot early. Kingston was, I guess, supposed to leap over Orton and come off the ropes, but collides. Kingston's hip hits Orton in the head. Accidents happen, but at the same time, there was a bunch of injuries on the pay-per-view the night before, and now injuries potential here. Orton rolls to the outside, regroups. Orton motion for Kingston to come to the outside. They go back in the ring and redid the spot because we can't have any sort of improv in professional wrestling in 2021. Kingston's in control until Orton pokes him in the eye. Orton sends Kingston to the corner, but Orton cuts him off with a power slam. Woods plays a trombone that distracts Orton, and there's a pinfall win here. Orton's angry, but Riddle plays peacekeeper by getting in between everybody. Woods grabs him by the arm. Riddle turns around and shoved Woods off. And then Naomi and Lana told Sonya Deville and Adam Pearce that they should get another tag team title match because Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke keep interfering in their matches. Rose and Brooks said they wanted the next shot. Charlotte Flair barged in and said they've all blown their chances. Brooke, under her breath, said Charlotte did the same last night. What a family-friendly line. Anyway, Deville said they determined their next challengers after tonight's match. She asked the teams to leave so they could speak to Charlotte. Charlotte wants a singles match against Ripley. Charlotte explained to Pierce that she deserves a shot because she didn't get pinned last night. Deville told her to consider her request if she beats Asuka tonight, and Ripley enters. She didn't care about Charlotte and wanted new competition. That's a good thing because, well, these matches are getting stale. She then said Charlotte was yesterday's news. Charlotte warned her that it's a matter of time until she beats her to win the title. Natalya and Tamina defeat Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler with Reginald to retain the tag team championships in just under 3.25 minutes. Why have people even put on their gear for short matches? Anyway, Challengers take control early. Jax run over Natalya. Natalya hits Jax with a discus clothesline, tag in, and Tamina knocks down Jax and knocks her off the apron. Baszler puts her in the Coquina clutch. Alexa Bliss appears on stage holding Lily. Fire shoots out of the ring posts near Reginald. He falls into the ring steps, grabs his face as if he'd been burned. Baszler lets go and hits lets go over finisher. Natalya tags in and they give Baszler a heart attack for the pinfall win. Adnan Burke freaks out on commentary. Yeah, this was horrible. Jax checks on Reginald as Lily's chuckle plays over the speakers. This is horrible. Speaking of pointless, we move to a U.S. Championship non-title affair that goes 13 and almost a half minutes, 13:25 to be exact. Sheamus defeats Ricochet. Match was fine, but with no story, with no future, with no care for anything. It's just there to fill time. No one will know what happened next week, no one will know what happened in a month, and no one will care about either guy anymore because it happened. Sheamus grabs the mic before the match. He is pissed at Ricochet for touching his clothes. Ricochet wants to shut Sheamus up once and for all. Sheamus asks the accusation that he claims Ricochet took his coat, and then there's some bad acting. Sheamus goes after him, but Ricochet goes to the ring. Ricochet wrestles in jeans with a belt. Match starts with Ricochet going in for the attack. Sheamus takes over with a clothesline. Sheamus beats him up, sends him over the barricade. This leads to a break. Sheamus is still in control. After the break, Ricochet comes back with forearm strikes. Sheamus responds with a backbreaker for a near fall. Ricochet hits a Spanish fly for a near fall of his own. And then Sheamus apparently hurt his leg on the spot because he's awkwardly landing and limping around. And Ricochet lands on his leg. People botching spots is all over the place in the past few days, and it's because there are moves that happen that don't need to happen just for the sake of showmanship. Grab a hold, slow it down, do spots you know how to do, and also don't do as much in matches that don't matter. Anyway, Ricochet uses a standing shooting star press for near fall. Sheamus gets the knees up on a springboard moonsault. Ricochet goes to the top. Sheamus rolls out of the ring. Ricochet hits a dive to the outside before pushing Sheamus back into the ring. Ricochet removes his belt, hits a springboard 450 for a near fall. Ricochet tries another springboard, but Sheamus nails him in midair with a knee strike. Referee seemed to count to 3. Ricochet kicked out at 2. So the match continues. Sheamus nails a brogue kick for a pinfall win. They can't even get the finishes of these matches right, and these are taped. Anyhow, Sheamus puts his coat on and his title belt. He makes fun of Ricochet and says he might accept Lashley's deal later tonight. T-Bar and Mace cut a promo in the back. They use words that real people wouldn't say before flipping a coin to determine which one of them would face Lashley. They didn't reveal who won because no one cares. And Asuka defeats Charlotte in 16 minutes 45 seconds going into the third hour. Good match, probably the best match on the show, but there are a couple of botches here. Asuka's in control. Charlotte kicks her from the apron. Ripley enters, and they go to a break. Charlotte remains in control until Asuka fires back and goes back and forth for several minutes. Charlotte goes for a Spanish fly. Asuka holds on to the buckle and didn't budge, so Charlotte gave herself a Spanish fly. That's just goofy looking, but hey, we like athleticism that has no psychology. Men and women do it everywhere. Woohoo! Anyway, Charlotte applies a leg lock between the ropes before sending Asuka into the announce table on the outside. Charlotte and Rhea Ripley go face to face. Asuka tries to attack. Charlotte chucks her into the ring. Charlotte gets in Ripley's face again before going after her opponent. Because, well, if you're in a match that matters, if you get future title matches, well, then you're going to just brawl or try to get into another fight on the outside. Asuka kicks Charlotte into the ropes, and Ripley jumps on the apron. Charlotte kicks her down. Asuka then applies a small package for a pinfall win. So, Charlotte loses, which means we'll get more of Asuka and Charlotte, which isn't necessarily a bad thing if we hadn't seen it 317 times. And then a graphic pops up during the match plugging Damian Priest versus Morrison in a lumberjack match tonight. Why didn't we just do a lumberjack match last night? Oh yeah, maybe we'll get more zombies. Wouldn't that be fun? Patrick interviews Morrison in the back. Morrison makes zombie jokes and dedicates tonight's match to the Miz's memory because, well, they actually think that people care about this junk. Anyway, luckily we are closing in on the last few segments of the show because even this review feels begrudgingly long. Corey Graves and Damian Priest wake up in the morning and they talk of the WWE Universe. Apparently, Lumberjacks are Nikki Cross and Viking Raiders, Mansoor, Tozawa, T-Bar, Mace, Lucha House Party, Sheldon Benjamin, Cedric Alexander, Titus O'Neil, and Mustafa Ali. Nikki Cross is the only woman lumberjack of the bunch. Morrison takes control early after Mace and T-Bar attack Priest on the outside. Morrison falls out of the ring and Cross shoves him back in. Morrison tries avoiding the lumberjacks again, but runs into a slam by Priest, which we then go to commercial break for. Mace and T-Bar attack Priest again on the outside, so apparently they're going to do some sort of angle there at some point, and T-Bar and Mace get wiped out with a dive eventually. Alexander attacks Benjamin for the fun of it, which leads to a brawl on the outside. Gathering of bodies gives Priest the perfect opportunity to jump into people and superplex Morrison to the outside on a show that no one's going to remember in a week. They still come down pretty hard on the pile. Ali and Ivar and Cross are among those that do not have anything to do with this because they've avoided it like intelligent people. Priest uses a Rana to bring Morrison down from the top rope before nailing Hit the Lights for the pinfall win. Why this needed to happen, we don't know. Anyway, after the match, Priest told one of the announcers it's time to move on from The Miz and Morrison. That's a good idea. She asked him what's next, and he says maybe he'll answer his Lashley Open challenge. Apparently this happening would be a good idea. Bronson Reed is allowed to promo on Raw even though he's on NXT, promoing his cage match for tomorrow. New Eva Marie video, and she wants to be the heroine like Angelina Jolie, and now she apparently is one. Patrick interviews Sheldon Benjamin and asked about Alexander, but Benjamin didn't want to talk about that. Benjamin wants to face Lashley for the title. Alexander shows up and sarcastically applauds Benjamin. Alexander's amused by Benjamin and thought that he thought he was a legend and said that's a fluke. Win over him didn't mean he couldn't face Lashley. Alexander said there was a reason everyone has always abandoned Benjamin, and Benjamin decks him and beats him up. The Open Challenge is up next. We've been plugging this for, 2.5 hours. Anyway, MVP and Lashley waited in the ring following a break for someone to answer. New Day's music hits and Kofi Kingston answers. announcers note that Kingston already wrestled earlier in the night. So, yeah, we could get someone new over, but we don't because we don't plan that far ahead. Anyway, before the bell rings, MVP makes it clear that this is a non-title match. Um, and this angers Kofi Kingston. He attacks Lashley. Ref separates them before the start of the match. Why we did that, we don't know. Just under 11 minutes, Kofi Kingston with Xavier Woods defeats the champion Bobby Lashley in a non-title match. Lashley goes after Kingston, gives him a spine buster for a near fall early. Kingston fights out and hits a delayed vertical suplex and hits a big dive to the outside because dives have to happen at least 17 times per show. Anyway, after the commercial break, they decide to air a replay of MVP's opening promo to prove that he never said it was a title match because obviously we don't think anybody watches the whole show and or we think that people don't care enough to remember these things. Lashley's in control and hits a delayed suplex for a near fall. Kingston comes back with a chop and DDT for a near fall. Lashley no-sells a leg drop and hits a flatliner to nearly win the match. Woods plays the trombones to distract Lashley, as he did earlier in the show, because, well, if it worked well once, why not do it again? Kingston is able to send Lashley to the apron after this. Lashley follows up with a Dominator before driving Kingston into the ring post on the outside. Then Lashley has Kingston on his shoulders, but Woods yanks him off. Ref tells Woods that he can't do that and he needs to go to the back. Lashley gets hit with a Singapore cane by McIntyre in the middle of all this. Kingston catches Lashley with a Schoolboy of Doom for the win and pins Lashley for the first time in a long time. McIntyre posts with a New Day as the show ended, and this show is horrible. Can't believe it's gone on for nearly 30 years. Anyway, we'll be back with more, including the Backlash review that I tried to do yesterday, but my technology ate it, and we'll be back with more soon after this.